So I'm here today to speak to Parliament about the new hospital project. As we know, this is a project that's been in the making for several years, and an important project in terms of continuity, in terms of the health care on St. Martin. Sorry, what am I doing? So I thought it would be good to go back to the very beginning to make sure that we all are on the same page in terms of the project and how we got to where we are. So from the ministry's perspective, our objective has been clear, our mission's clear, and that is to deliver accessible and affordable quality health care close to home. Certainly, I think all of us can recognize that the closer to home that we deliver health care, the more that you have a support network and family and friends around you to help, and that's been proven to be a critical part of any recovery process, any healing process. To achieve this, the Ministry of VSA entered into a tripartite protocol with the SMMC and SZV, and this was done in March of 2015. So this protocol actually, and I will happy to present a copy to Parliament, this was actually signed before my time by the then Minister of Health, Rita Bourne-Gums, and as well as the Prime Minister, Mr. Gums, and the Minister of Finance, Mr. Hassink at the time, as well as Mr. Clarenbake, Mr. Robert John James, Mr. Glenn Carty from SZV as well. So some of the players are still here from the original signing of this protocol. And I think it's good to mention a couple of the things that are outlined in the protocol. Specifically, what was the objective? The objective of the protocol is, and I quote, "This protocol reflects parties' commitment to work in close partnership to achieve a sustainable solution for hospital care on St. Martin, while addressing the current financial and operational situation of the parties." So at the time when this agreement was signed, the SMMC was clearly struggling with a number of financial and operational issues, and so the recognition was not only did we have to work on building a new hospital, but also had to look at the underlying fundamentals in terms of the business plans and how the hospital is compensated for the services that they offer, because if the business plan isn't sustainable, then there's no way you build a system which is sustainable, much less a new hospital. Basic principles for the future of the hospital care profile of SMMC. The parties have agreed on 4 basic principles for the future hospital care of SMMC. Point 1, efficient and affordable. Hospital care should be efficient and affordable both now and in the future. So we're looking not only at the plans for today, even prior to the construction, but also once the new hospital is built, but into the future as well. We certainly want to make sure that for generations to come, we have a quality and sustainable system. Quantity and quality. Quantity and quality of hospital care should be based on the anticipated demand for care of the residents and visitors of St. Martin and be in accordance with the applicable and agreed upon quality standards. So we talk about that should a care model be in place prior to the development of a business plan, and absolutely one of the first things that was done was a conscious decision about what level of care do we want for our community, and is that level of care affordable, and is it sustainable for the long term? So these were fundamental discussions from the very beginning, from the very inception of what would a new hospital in St. Martin look like. Accessible. Hospital care should be physically and financially accessible for all St. Martin residents and its visitors. And this actually leads very much into discussion that we're already beginning to have about do we agree on, for example, universal health insurance as a principle? Do we believe that all the members of our community should be able to have affordable health insurance, because very often without that health insurance you won't be able to afford the care that is available on the island. So again, even from that point, and again this is before my time, acknowledge that there's the physical need, there's the medical requirements, but there's also a financial component to this as well, that it needs to be financially sustainable for the institution, but for the population, for the country, for the community at large as well. Constructive and transparent partnership. The parties shall create a constructive and transparent environment in which parties can and will work together in close partnership to develop the business case. And you know, actually, this is one of those things that's a sort of ethereal concept. It's very nice to say you want to build a good cooperation and partnership, but how do you measure it? How do you quantify it? And I must say that I believe that this tripartite and the stakeholders have done an excellent job in terms of building that trust, that respect, that good communication and dialogue, and I believe that's what has laid really a tremendous foundation for this project going forward. What are the roles of the various parties? So the contract, the agreement is signed between the SMMC, the Ministry of VSA, and SZV. And so each of the stakeholders is part of this agreement because they have a role in terms of providing the outcomes as we've mentioned here. And so government has, of course, a public health perspective. We have the interests of the public as our objective as a ministry, that we want to make sure the quality of care is accessible and that the level of care is what the country needs as well, and that it's, again, financially sustainable. So government obviously has a critical role in terms of making sure that our laws and policies are up to date and that they support the improvement of healthcare and support a new hospital for our country. Responsibility to ensure that the population's healthcare needs are met. Ultimately, as the Ministry of VSA, our real concern is about quality of life. We want to make sure not only that people can get care when they need it, when they're sick, but actually our focus is ensuring that our population is healthy from the very beginning. We, the ministry, and certainly I think the other medical professionals, value preventative care, that we believe that making sure our population stays healthy and doesn't get sick is in the best interest of our community. Ensuring a transparent and clear procurement procedure for selection of a design, build, and maintain contractor. So those of you who don't recall, the project is much more complicated than a simple have a set of blueprints, get a quote to build a building. This has been a design, build, and maintain contract, and I'll leave the director, Mr. Clarenbeek, to go into further details about that. SMMC has a critical role in this, obviously, determining, number one, the care model. What is the level of care that we believe is appropriate for the island? What is sustainable? Because whatever care we put in place, the services that we put in place needs to have a population size that sufficiently utilizes those services to make sure that it's financially sustainable. Development of the personnel by training. So that's the nurses, that's the specialists, but that's also administrators, IT people, all throughout the hospital. There's all different functions, and all of them have a responsibility in terms of increasing their level of skills for our medical needs going forward. Transparent, accountable, and sustainable financial and operational management. As we've had our discussions over the past couple of years, it very often comes back to, do we have the statistics? Do we have the data to back up the decisions that we're currently making? And so again, it means that the hospital needs to have not only financial information, but also what services were used, how much did we pay for referrals for abroad, how much for a particular specialty or for a particular operation. Because in the end, it becomes a discussion about at what point does it make sense to offer those services locally instead of, for example, sending people abroad. SZV also has a critical role, and as I've mentioned several times, SZV is obviously the executing body. They do not write the laws or policies, but they have an important role in terms of controlling costs and, again, providing data to our system in terms of how that money is spent and providing feedback in terms of how we can save money for our healthcare system. Because every dollar we save is a dollar we can invest somewhere else in our healthcare system. We also want to, of course, ensure that the clients have proper service, customer service levels, and there's an opportunity for them to invest. From the original conception of the project, actually, SZV had a much larger role in terms of financing of the project. When I came in as minister, actually, SZV was slated to finance the entire construction project. So remember that this is the departure point when we came in. But they have a threefold return. So they have, from a financial perspective, the money that they would invest into the project has a return. There's an interest rate attached to that, so they're being responsible from that perspective. But also they're one of the biggest beneficiaries of the investment in a new hospital, in that it would help them to reduce their costs as well. So they have the gains from the investment, but they also have an operational savings going forward. And of course, there's also the discussions about quality of life for its customers, for our citizens, which is hard to quantify, but in my mind is also immeasurable in terms of its contribution.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NV.
The Department of Sports has chosen to highlight the work of Iviane Luisa, an exceptional swimmer. Miss Luisa has won several medals in local and regional swimming competitions, the latest being 7 medals at one meet in Curacao last December. Iviane, we congratulate you and encourage you to continue to excel. Keep setting the standard for others to follow, because sports matter. As a point of information, I wish to remind the public and foundations which may seek to request donations from the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport that a hard copy letter of request with any other necessary supporting documents should be delivered to the government building at the reception desk. Emailed requests for donation from the ministry or from the minister are insufficient for processing and will prove counterproductive for the individual or for the organization that is making that request. The St. Martin Doot. As we approach another St. Martin Doot for the weekend of March 15th and 16th, 2019, I encourage all members of the community to volunteer in the rebuilding and beautification projects. We all have a part to play, and if we unite and focus as a team and as a community, we will certainly achieve much more. Art supplies handed over to the NIA. Yesterday, Tuesday, February 26th, I had the pleasure to officially receive a variety of visual art materials that were donated to the NIA, the National Institute of Arts, by an art organization in the Netherlands called the Orange Company. After Hurricane Irma, the Orange Company reached out to the NIA to see how they could help our children by using the medium of art. The Orange Company was able to get a donation of art supplies like paint and brushes, easels and canvas from Royal Talens. Royal Talens is a large company located in Apeldoorn in the Netherlands that supplies all sorts of arts and craft materials. In addition to ensuring that the NIA and schools and artists receive art supplies, the Orange Company has received paintings from 2 St. Martin artists, and it has organized a traveling exhibition in the Netherlands. This means that the work of Roland Richardson and Tess Verhey will be exhibited in several cities and towns in the Netherlands. St. Martin wishes to thank Royal Talens, the Orange Company, the Cabinet of the Minister Plenipotentiary, and our ministers there, the Honorable Jorien Wuiten and Michelle Summersall. Thanks also to Arlene Halley, Director of the NIA, for being the liaison, and also thanks to our artists for their participation.
Hey ma, how you doing? You busy?
I hear, just paying some bills, taking care of business, you know what it is?
I know, you're doing your online banking.
I don't have to stand in those long lines to pay bills. I can transfer when I want. I can check my account wherever. It's like the bank open 24/7. I even here checking the statement right now as we're talking. How's Miami?
Well, that's why I'm calling. I'm finishing up a few songs now, but I'm afraid that studio time might be more than I thought. And I was wondering if I could get some help with some funds, and I could pay you back as soon as I get back to St. Martin.
Let me check my account. How much you need?
I think 500 should be enough.
I can transfer it to you while online. Direct from me to you. No problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Ma. I'll get online with Bib now.
Alright, darling. You know who you're for?
I need to know who you're for.
Contact WIB today for your complete personal online banking experience. Available for all mobile devices, the Windward Islands Bank, now your online banking partner in progress.
Who you're for.
What legislation, amendments, or proposals they have come up with to eradicate the poverty. UD, no commitment at all. 7 parliamentarians they have. In parliament, only one, Dr. Messalina, speaking about poverty. But where are the proposals, amendments, for legislation to change, or the proposals from this government that they also are in the coalition with to eradicate the poverty? So let's look at the changes in economic policies, in labor policies, and social policies. What were the proposals that came up in parliament or in government? Let's start with cost of living. Cost of living in St. Martin being the highest in the Kingdom of the Netherlands. After Hurricane Irma, prices went up, confirmed by the Statistical Department of Government. What did Minister of TIA do to bring down the prices in St. Martin? We, in the Eradication of Poverty Declaration, proposed that they had to bring down and lower the cost of living. They had to champion to lower the cost of living in St. Martin to affordable pricing levels as provided by globalization and by internet commerce. We give as example, auto part. I go here to the local merchant and I pay 5 times more than when I order it online. And with the postal services, I receive my package and I still pay 80% less. This is something that internet commerce provides us and provides we. You don't think that local merchants can do the same? They do the same. So where is all that other money? In which pocket is it going? Out of our pockets it is coming. But we, with the situation provided, that a lot of our households in poverty, we cannot continue this way of doing business as usual. Let's look at the basic basket for maximum price control. People complaining that there is no control on the prices. But people have to know it's only a few items are being controlled. Page-wide announcement in the newspaper of comparison in supermarkets that was done on items of price control. It's only the items that have a maximum price decree that is what they control. All other prices are free. So we have suggested in this declaration of eradication, expand the basket for maximum prices. Instead of the little 20 that you're looking for, look for 100 more to start with and see if we can continue by expanding it. What about food and nutrition prices? We asked to lower these prices, as well as all goods and services, to price levels as, for instance, the ones in Curacao. The latest report of the Dutch Ministry of Economic Affairs, charged to a Dutch company to look at the food prices, came to the conclusion that St. Maarten in the kingdom has the highest food and nutrition prices. The increase since 2010, St. Maarten championed with more than over 50% price increase. So what is Minister of TIA doing for the people to feel it in the pocket? What kind of relief is this? By eliminating the fuel clause, we asked for that. Generate green energy, because that will save us money when we are right now constantly being confronted with raising oil prices.
What's up?